As the BRICS Union continues to grow and change, there has been more and more interest in adding more African countries to its ranks. The possibility that more African countries will join BRICS is an exciting chance for the group to get more involved with Africa, take advantage of its huge resources and market potential, and work together on economic issues. In this video, we will look at why BRICS wants to add more African countries to its group, what this could mean for BRICS and for the African countries involved, and what benefits and problems it could bring. Strengthening the economic ties between the BRICS countries and more African countries could bring big benefits and chances for everyone involved. This will make it easier to trade, invest, and work together, which will lead to long-term economic growth and progress in both regions. Increased trade is one of the most important ways that BRICS can improve its economic ties with African countries. By making trade relationships stronger, lowering trade hurdles, and promoting market access, BRICS can give African countries more chances to sell their goods and services abroad. This can help African countries diversify their economies, make more jobs, and earn more foreign currency. At the same time, the BRICS countries can get access to a wider range of African goods and resources. This will help their own economies grow and give them a wider range of places to buy goods from. Africa has a lot of natural resources, such as oil, gas, minerals, and food. If more African countries joined BRICS, the alliance would have better access to these resources, which would help improve energy security, economic growth, and food security. It would also let African countries use the skills and tools of BRICS members to use their natural resources in a way that is good for the environment and adds value. Beneficial, right? BRICS and African countries can work together to help each other and promote sustainable growth. Because their economies are growing and they need more resources, BRICS countries have an excellent reason to get access to these resources, so they can meet local needs and grow their industries. At the same time, African countries can use their wealth of natural resources to bring in investments, make money, and help their economies become more diverse. One of the best things about working together to get to natural resources is the chance to share information and transfer technologies. The BRICS countries have made significant progress in getting resources, handling them, and managing them. By working together with African countries, BRICS can help make resource extraction more efficient and valuable. This can include sharing technology in mining, oil and gas research, food processing, and clean energy. Africa has a lot of farmable land and good weather, which could make it a center for farming production. Collaboration in agribusiness, knowledge sharing, and technology transfer can help make agriculture more sustainable, boost production, and make sure that both BRICS and African countries have enough food. Amazing, right? But it is very important to make sure that resource management is done in a sensible and sustainable way if we don't want to hurt the environment and people. Socioeconomic differences in African countries are big, like differences in income, poverty rates, and access to basic services like schooling and healthcare. By inviting more African countries to join BRICS, there is a chance to fix these problems and support social and economic inclusion. The BRICS countries can help by sharing what they've learned about reducing poverty, creating social welfare programs, and making sure that everyone benefits from growth policies. This can be done through sharing knowledge, building capacity, and giving technical help to help African countries come up with and implement good plans to lower inequality and improve the well-being of their people. When making and carrying out inclusive development plans, it is important to involve many different groups, such as governments, civil society, and the business sector. Also, it is important to promote good governance, openness, and accountability to make sure that the benefits of economic integration are shared fairly and reach those most in need. BRICS can help African youth get better access to good education and training options. This can be done by sharing best practices, exchanging information, and running programs to build up educational institutions and help people learn new skills. By using the knowledge and experience of BRICS countries, African countries can improve their education systems, update their courses, and make them fit the needs of the job market as it changes. Second, BRICS can make it easier for people to work together on research and development, creativity, and the transfer of technology. African countries can gain from technological advances and expertise in fields like agriculture, healthcare, renewable energy, and digital innovation through joint projects, partnerships, and investments in R&D infrastructure. This can help create high-skilled jobs, boost output, and make a country more competitive in the global market. The fact that BRICS wants more African countries to join the economic alliance has big strategic effects. This move shows that BRICS wants to increase its presence and impact in Africa. If more African countries joined BRICS, it would have a bigger impact on world politics in a number of ways. By letting more African countries join, BRICS would strengthen its role as a key player in shaping Africa's economy. This would give BRICS more power over the continent's plans for growth, its trade policies, and how much money is invested there. As Africa becomes a growth engine for the rest of the world, joining BRICS would help African countries to use the alliance's combined bargaining power in world events and talks, which would strengthen their position in global geopolitics. However, the potential expansion of BRICS to include more African countries also comes with challenges that different economic goals are important things to think about. Each country, including those in Africa, has its own economic priorities that are based on its own wants, resources, and goals for growth. Understanding and addressing these different economic goals is important for BRICS countries to work well together and get results that are good for everyone. Taking care of different economic priorities calls for a complex and custom method. It is important to think about what each African country needs, what it can do, and what it wants to achieve, and to make sure that joint efforts fit with their national development plans and top goals. Within the BRICS framework, talks and agreements should be guided by the important ideas of flexibility, openness, and respect for the sovereignty of nations. Right? Also, promoting economic growth that benefits everyone and lasts should be a goal shared by all economic interests. Collaboration among the BRICS countries can include projects that support inclusive business models, help create local value chains, encourage business ownership, and make sure that the benefits of economic integration reach everyone. When BRICS thinks about asking more African countries to join the economic alliance, infrastructure, and institutional problems are very important things to think about. Building strong infrastructure and strong institutions is important for supporting economic growth, making trade and investment easier, and making sure that progress is sustainable. Many African countries have an urgent need to build up their infrastructure. Inadequate transportation networks, limited access to reliable power, and lack of telecommunications systems are just some of the problems that slow down economic activities and slow down growth. These infrastructure problems could be fixed. The countries that make up BRICS have a lot of experience building infrastructure and can help build roads by giving money, professional help, and sharing information. If more African countries joined BRICS, it would be harder for them to work together and decide what to do. Effective ways to build agreements and make decisions would be needed to bring together different interests, negotiate deals, and come up with joint strategies. This would mean that the institutions of BRICS would have to be made stronger to handle the growing diversity of its members. Coordination and decision-making within BRICS would be key to making sure that adding more African countries to the economic union goes smoothly and works well. Effective coordination would make it easier to take a unified approach, encourage teamwork, and get the most out of the benefits that integration could bring. In the end, the fact that more African countries might join BRICS shows that the Union recognizes Africa's economic potential, natural resources, and strategic importance. The expansion would strengthen economic ties, encourage the growth of infrastructure and human capital, and increase geopolitical power. But a successful integration process needs to take into account the different economic goals, infrastructure challenges, socioeconomic differences, and coordination mechanisms. By working together, BRICS and African countries can use their combined powers to drive inclusive and sustainable development and shape the future of global economic cooperation.